Welcome, and Andrana to Shan, everybody. Welcome to our Dragon Age special here at the Transmissions, In Death, Sacrifice. Before we introduce the story and our players, let me first provide a content warning, one which is important for today's story. Dragon Age is a setting which has some dark and difficult themes, not only with some grisly horror, but also in its political and cultural tensions. There are power imbalances throughout the lands of Thedas, and we may touch on these in our story. Mostly, our story now deals with the Blight, a magical plague that is spreading through the land and the creatures that spread it. This is a deadly time, and the threat of death will be common. Rest assured, we're going to be as respectful and considerate as possible when we explore this topic, and we've discussed our lines and veils prior to today's session. We can check in with each other, but we want you to also be mindful of your own comfort levels. As important as the story is to voice, your happiness and comfort should be paramount, and as such, we would never judge if you need to step away. Now, my delightful players, I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves and who you are and who you're going to be playing. Me, I'm Emma Hummel on the internet. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm a storyteller for today. If we can start with Torin.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. I am Torin, or Torin Talks Creativity. My pronouns are she, they. Today, I will be playing Warden Mir Nadas, who is a complicated elven background, starting in Tevinter. So if you know anything about that, it's getting kind of rough, and then ends up in Saharan, gets a little rougher, and you know what? Warden is a prideful job.
Yeah.
Sure. Anyway, that is them, Mir Nadas, and their pronouns are they, them.
All right. Nick.
Hi, my name's Nick. My pronouns are he, him. I am playing Renard, who is a former Orlesian guard. He is definitely not a good guy, but he's definitely not a bad guy. Pretty much the only space for him would have been the Gray Wardens. And yeah, he has a terrible sense of humor, and unfortunately, you are all stuck with him now.
Yeah. You thought the Blight was bad. Bex.
Hi everyone, I'm Bex, or Phoenix Force on the internet. I use whatever pronouns take your fancy on any given day. And today I'm playing Tekla, who is our tiny, feral, very loud, slightly annoying Dalish elf, who is a mage who has absolutely no darker predilections at all. Do not even worry about it. She doesn't need anything from anyone. Thank you. Goodbye.
I'm taking no questions. And last but not least.
Hi everybody, my name is Valdrian. I use any and all pronouns. Today I bring to you Warden Latoya. She uses she/her pronouns, and she is a rogue. Very specifically, she is a ranger and a Ferelden freeman. Yeah, that's what we got.
Mm-hmm. Love it. In the year 512 Exalted, for the fourth time in history, an archdemon awoke, and the Fourth Blight began in earnest. The large, dragon-shaped beast led an endless army of darkspawn in its wake. It began in the nation of Antiva, and soon it was overrun. The final surviving city was the capital, Antiva City, and with its residents and the royal family trapped within, Warden Commander Turab called not only for Antiva's Gray Wardens, but also a branch of the Wardens known as the Griffin Riders, a proud branch of the Wardens who ride on the backs of the legendary creatures. Amongst their order are two elves who do not know yet the power and the weight that they're going to lend to history. Siblings, Garhel and Isaiah. This tale does not follow their story, as that's already been told. We're going to bear witness to others of this order and their heroic acts during the siege of Antiva City. The Grey Wardens are a noble order of people from all walks of life through Thedas. They give their lives to fight back against blights and to save others. These heroes pledge an oath during their very secretive joining ritual. In war, victory. In peace, vigilance. In death, sacrifice. Prior to this, They were everyday people like you and me, and not all began their story as the heroics. Our camera is first going to pan in to a place not terribly far from Antiva. We're on the island of Saharan, on a beach. Mernadas, can you paint the scene for us? What can we see?
Not going into great detail, but I'll just say it is red. It is not a happy scene. Most everyone that was here just moments ago standing, they're not anymore. And there's a few left, mostly elven people who, like Mirnadas, are terrified. And I think the only reason that they're not standing, they're on their knees. I think the only reason they're still there is they were just quick and were able to avoid the blades and the weapons of the Kunari that are looming over them now. But their magister from Deventer is absolutely no more. And I think Mirdas is just terrified right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as we see the passing of a large form, Kunari, we will focus in on you now on this beach, soaked red. What do we see? What does Mirnadas look like right now?
Other than just absolute terror.
Sure.
Yeah. Olive skin, closer to yellow eyes, and completely shaved head. However, they have a brown inked tattoo along their skull of dragons and curled Ouroboros on the top of their skull.
Mm-hmm.
And clothes well, let's just say at one time, they were well put together, but not expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Marked with black and orange, and representing the house of the Deventer house that they came from.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it's a little redder now. And darker. And probably torn in some places, so looking a bit ragged at the current moment.
Are you injured?
I would say yes. I don't think they're fast enough to get away from everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Scenes like this, it is understandable why at the surface and most dominant is fear within Mirnadas. Are there any other emotions sitting under the surface?
I would say confusion, which probably is feeding the fear a lot, of just a running thought of, oh gods, what happens now? Because it's not like they liked their magister. There's no sadness there. But there is a grief of just, at least I knew what that was.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that they've ever heard of Quinari is, you won't see them for very long.
Mm-hmm. I think there's some understandable chaos happening. I imagine some bodies being moved to the side. Those who are on their knees, probably lined up. How many others do you think are here with you?
3, which probably started more like 20.
Mm-hmm. One by one, they are lifted to their feet, and they are given what may come across as an ultimatum, but to those asking it, it is simple truths they're looking for. Do you want to live? How many of the 3 do you think did want to live?
I think all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm. One by one, as they give their answer, you will see them being marched off for the people who have instigated this scene, shall we say, they understood enough what you were to this mage, enough to know that what could be offered, if you have the will to take it, is a life free from that, to be given purpose. It does not look like they are going to be killed, because for these Kunari, if you don't want to take this version of freedom that they are offering, they would see killing you as a mercy, and the correct thing to do. When they get to Mirnadas, what do you think your answer is?
I think they take not even that long to think about it. It's an immediate yes. Almost just from deep within, just jumps out before they even think about it.
When you are taken from the beach and moved to a camp, I imagine, they will have more questions. The most dominant one is, what is your purpose?
I think their mind is just based on how they're asking questions, how they respond to anything that they've said. It's very precise. There's no words wasted. There's no explanations. Just answer the damn question. So I think their mind is rambling of all of the duties they did at the House Interventor. And I think they only answer with, I can make food. And they're hoping to anything that's listening that is enough.
And it is. That is a purpose. It is a duty someone can fulfill for the betterment of the community. What do you think the immediate time following this is like for Mirnadas?
I think everything is just going by very quickly, and there's just a pinpoint of focus that they're trying to make their vision see. They can tell that their brain wants to dissociate from this, but they're forcing themselves to focus. And it's viewing how the Qun actually operates, because all they've ever really heard is that they're, precise military and just ruthless. And yet they're still now seeing like little ones actually being taken care of and taught. They're seeing people actually farming, and a community that's actually operating together, and almost with the same military precision, but not seeing, I think, on the surface, the cruelty that can happen there. And so since they're so used to that from before, where it was only cruelty and very prevalent in the surface, in forefront, I think they're just trying to go. I think the only thing in their mind is this pinpoint view is happening with the blur around the edges. Where can I fit? How can I fade in the background? How can I not be seen? And just do what I can to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think depending on the predilections of a person, on your personality, on how well you can take orders and slip into some kind of routine and purpose that the Qun offers, Some people will rail against it and say that they do see cruelty within that life, because they get met with it when they're trying to fight back against the order. And so maybe you're aware that some people might, a lot of the times though they're taken away somewhere, it's usually quite private because it's re-education, right? So not everybody's going to see what that looks like. If you're willing to have that fit in quiet, unseen, and you just lean into your purpose, I imagine you find more peace than you maybe even realized was possible.
I think there's definitely some kind of peace to it. Because
A flavor of
the
it.
instructions are there.
Yeah.
You just have to follow the instructions.
Yeah.
And any thought that starts to, like, once the vision starts to deep blur, if you will, and come into focus a little bit more, and the edges start coming into focus, any thought that they have outside of that, it is absolutely never spoken and will never, ever be uttered to another person here.
Mm-hmm.
They're not stupid.
And there will be people who are friendly. I imagine there's some enjoyment to be had for those who are looking for it in a way that is available. How happy do you think Myrnadas is in this time?
I would say it doesn't compare with the happiest memory they've ever had, which is very small and very fleeting. However, it's not the day-to-day fear that they grow up with every time since that, like in between those times. And keep your head down. Don't look. Follow the script. And there's I think a bit of a reprieve and relief, not necessarily happiness, of they're still alive.
Myrnadas. What happens that changes your routine here? What happens that leads you to the path towards the Gray Wardens?
The three that she came with, well, they probably got re-educated a few times, but I think there was probably one time after that they didn't show back up. And Myrnadas, being who they are, went looking. And I don't think it turned out very well.
I imagine what followed once you were unwilling to coast along the order and routine. When you decided not to just look forward or look down, you looked around. You looked for answers. What followed likely has left you with some emotional scars. Did it leave you with anything physical?
Yes, and I don't know if we really want to describe it, but let's just say they don't wear slinky clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You carry the weight of, for a second time, with life casting you adrift.
Yeah.
When you got to the Wardens, was it a choice? Was it a last resort? And did it give you any relief?
I think it's one of the only choices they've ever made for themselves. But it was the last resort. With Teventer being mad at you and also the Cume being mad at you. There aren't really many choices left. And I don't think they've ever heard of anything really south. I don't think they even know about Ferelden or Lay or Halam Sharal. They've never heard of it. And I think the warden's saying, hey, we're going to feed and clothe you. And you get to decide what you do here, as long as it serves the overall purpose.
Yeah.
I think that they just thought that at least someone might protect her.
When you took the warden's oath, did it make you feel anything?
I think confusion. I think they understand that there's something that's supposed to be found here. But literally, they've never had to find anything before. And so I don't think they know what they're supposed to do. Usually they could just watch people around them, but now no one's doing the same thing. There's no pattern. There's no, all the elf wardens are doing this. All of the human wardens are doing this. There's nothing there. And I think it's a lot of just confusion and loss. And I think they're just looking. It's a little curiosity there. But there's definitely a fear of, am I doing this wrong?
Yeah. There are people here who probably act, whether it's real or not, as if they really have this higher purpose.
Yeah. They probably recite that oath all the time, and they really believe those words. And Myrnidas is just like, I memorized it.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Cast Adrift.
Yeah.
Our scene is going to move to the extravagant, brightly colored, hanging silks, delightful scents, music on the street corner, Valroyo in Orlais. And we are going to be looking in on some city guards, a patrol in Valroyo. Renard, can you set the scene for us?
So, in the somewhat gaudy city of Valroyo, the guards look, even as, public servants per se, are also ostensibly dressed. Their uniforms full of silk and ruffles and bows and adornments. However, like most positions filled with nepotism, minor sons of minor houses so far on the edges of the great game, they're little better than any common gang of thieves. As their rounds through the merchant quarter is just a front for their protection racket, as it would be, robbing the merchants and the citizens of whatever hard-earned makings they would have that week, under the guise of raising taxes or protection from the Dalish.
Sure. Okay. If there are guards who are pushing these people on this protection racket, where in that lineup is Renard?
Renard has zero qualms with, shoving a more well-off member of the merchant class to the ground. But he draws the line at taking from people who clearly are barely making ends meet. You can't squeeze blood from a rock, as it goes. And to him, not only is it unnecessarily cruel, it's a waste of time and effort. And the only thing he can do at this point is allow the others to debase themselves in such a way.
Have you ever spoken up about it before, do you think? Or do you just not take part?
He once offered a complaint of it being a waste of their time and effort trying to take from someone who clearly hasn't made a sale that week.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but was met with nothing but scoffs and jeers
Mm-hmm.
that he should mind his tongue lest he lose it.
True. I think just with a ray of sun shifting after a cloud has passed by, enlightening you for a moment, what do we see with Renard? How do you look?
So Renard is, slightly larger than the average man for the time, especially one of the Orlesian. Some might have mistaken him for a Ferelden with how
Stocky.
stocky he is. But he is, of course, as well maintained as any proud Orlesian would be. Finely coiffed goatee, heavy makeup on, and the signature look of superiority that many a minor house of Orlais permanently imprints upon the face. He's somewhat swarthy from all the time spent in the sun, but still a bit on the paler side.
Okay. Now, there are going to be slightly different stripes that enter into this position, and for some, this is something that they can take a bit of pride in, that they are a city guard here. For others, they maybe have wishes of higher standings, and this is just what they have, being the minor sons in the minor families. Where is Renard in that? Do you take pride in this position, or was there something else you wanted for your life?
Renard knew that basically this was as high as he was ever going to reach in any case. His family was on the way out, and him being in this position was a stroke of luck as it would be. Him getting there by virtue of his, physicality. Because the city guard, while full of pompous nobles and sons of judges in the aristocracy, did actually need to be able to serve the city. And it might help to have one or two competent members. But for him to one day command his own squad or rise up higher or gain notoriety, those were all a boy's daydream, and he was far too cynical to believe any of that would be possible for him.
Okay. I think as the scene unfolds and these people try to shake this person down, seeing that you are not taking part and don't seem to be in agreement with what is going on, at least this person is hoping that's the case. This man, this merchant, is going to look to you with pleading eyes and ask you, help me, please, and will beseech you to try and do something. Would you do anything?
Renard would most likely approach the man, get on one knee and crouch down to him as he cowers, and would just be like, "My good friend, it is probably for the best you do not ask for help when none is going to come."
Right. He will look crestfallen, accept his losses, and give whatever meager offerings he can to get these guards off his case. And you're able to carry on your day. By the end of the day, with this kind of work, and perhaps actually doing guard duties, when you get to the end of the day, what's the main emotion you feel?
Mostly hate and anger towards the commander who is only there by virtue of his birth,
Sure.
and a lot of hate towards himself for, not being able to be a better person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that must not sit right with you.
Yeah.
What does
He
Renard do to
so-
cope with that? Because normally people who feel those sorts of things at the end of their
Mhm.
workday, there are things that they can do to help them cope, help them forget, or try to seek some repentance. What do you think he does?
Reynard spends his time mostly fantasizing about what he is going to do
Ah,
to the sergeant of his squad. Lots
okay,
of dark, violent fantasies about
okay.
that he promises himself he wouldn't act on because that would be as pointless and foolish as that merchant begging him for help.
Hmm. Yeah. Do you think Renard is filled with any shame?
Um, Most likely deeply filled with shame,
Hmm.
but he would never admit it because shame would mean knowing he's doing something wrong
Sure.
and not just doing what he has to do.
Sure. Do you consider him a man of faith in the Maker?
He only has faith in the power of money.
Hmm.
The Chantry has never served him. His prayers to the Maker have never been answered. Um, to him, faith is just, uh, again, as useful as that merchant
Hmm.
begging him for help.
Yeah. So, Renard, with the life that you lead and these days that leave you feeling less than hopeful about your future, what is it that led you down the path that led to the Grey Wardens?
One day, after another successful day of policing the town, as it were,
Hmm.
I think they most likely took a trip towards the elven part of town,
Hmm.
which is not usually where they go unless called for, and even then, at their leisure.
Hmm.
And this time, as the squad was shaking down the elven merchants,
Hmm.
one of the sergeant left the shop bloodied. None of his, of course.
Hmm.
And that was probably the moment that Renard finally snapped.
Hmm.
Of course, he wouldn't say anything directly. He could never question a superior officer.
No.
And he couldn't voice his complaints.
Hmm.
But what he could do was wait for the right opportunity. And, taking advantageous opportunities was something just naturally ingrained in the Orlesian nobility. And for him, it was cracking the entirety of his halberd across the helmet of the sergeant while they're crossing one of the large bridges.
Hmm. They're unfortunate, slighter Orlesian build compared to you, who's perhaps built more like a Ferelden. When you had to take the oath, did it make you feel anything?
I think perhaps for the first time in his life, Renard felt a bit of pride in what he was doing. Um, you know, Perhaps now he would do something that actually did matter to somebody somewhere. And at least he wasn't a thief pretending otherwise.
As we said, for some, the oath really means something. We're going to shift now further south, halfway up a hill, deep in the middle of the Dales. And we're going to look in on Thecla. Can you describe to us the scene?
I think Tekla is scrabbling up the hill, sort of keeping low. You get the sense that she is hiding from someone or something, but there's no fear in it. In fact, despite being a teenager, she's giggling like a child, as if she's snuck away from a class. And there's a sense of joy in it, as she's trying to scale this hill and get since her absence.
What is it that's bringing you so much joy?
I think for her it is the sense of freedom she gets out here by herself. She tries not to. She tries to sort of be responsible and well maintained, but she likes to get away from it all sometimes and do it all by herself.
When you get to somewhere, it's high up, the view's beautiful. What do you use this peace and quiet for?
For the most part, she uses it just to watch. She likes to find herself up high in moments like this to see out over the expanse of everything that's available to her. They live a nomadic, traveling life. She sees so much of the world and the area, but there's nothing like seeing it from a distance and realizing that you get a brand new perspective when you're on high. Sorry, my cat is biting my foot under my desk. Can you stop?
These hill cats, honestly.
I know.
That's so funny. You know, sometimes people who have gifts like you get warned about extreme emotions, right? And you don't want to get too scared, too angry, too frustrated, because there's the implication there that you're leaving yourself exposed to harmful influence. They don't often talk about the other side of those extremes. Being really happy, really excited, being in love. These are big emotions too. And I think when you feel a big emotion and it floods you, like being up here and being free and just being able to see the sky, and you feel closer to the veil, to the power that courses within you. You feel powerful. It almost doesn't make sense to get warnings about that. Why should this be a bad thing? How do you feel about the gifts that you have?
On the whole, I think Tekla, like with so many other things, takes every opportunity she can to find joy in them. she loves this feeling of, yes, she's been warned all her life to moderate her emotions and to be careful with them and to behave. But there's a thrill in standing at a precipice and just peering over. And she's not going to go anywhere, but just getting to look and to see what could be. There's a sort of thrill in that. So in that respect, she loves her gifts. She loves what they open up to her. But in another respect, I think she resents that they have marked her as someone who has to have responsibility. She sees others in her clan, her age and younger, who have what she thinks is a simpler life, an easier life that has more room for things like joy and love and freedom, because they don't have these large gifts taking up all of the space that should be reserved for those feelings.
Yeah. You're trained, all of your clan are trained to see the mages of the clan as leaders, as the wisest of them all, the most powerful. They do treat you with respect. Of course they do. And you'll be expected to train and to one day, likely, would have to take that leadership role. Does Thekla feel like a leader?
I don't think so. I think she sees the potential in herself, and she understands that she could be if she really wanted to, if she dedicated herself to it. But I think there's a much bigger part of her that rebels against it and goes, I don't want it. I don't want everyone to look at me and to ask me what they should all do.
Yeah, it's a burden.
Yeah.
I think standing here at that precipice, feeling that freedom and the joy, whether it's actual whispers or just your own thoughts, sometimes it's hard to tell. Drawing your eyes out at the world, at the possibility. If Thekla could have any kind of future, what does Thekla want her life to look like?
I think she wants every day to look different, and for there to be people that maybe don't necessarily understand that feeling but are willing to share in it with her. I think she wants what she perceives to be the trappings of youth that she feels her gifts have taken from her. As much as she loves them, as much as she loves all of the things that they have opened up to her, she, I think, in part, grieves for what she thinks she has never known.
Yeah. When you've learned the lessons from a young age, you'll still be getting taught those lessons. You wonder when the lessons stop about Dalish culture, about the elves, about all that you've lost, about language and crafts and the empires that you had and the ruins that once were great cities. What are Tekla's thoughts about that side of herself?
I think she understands their importance, and I think she carries them with her. It's hard not to. She's taught to, she feels the weight of the words. She feels how much everyone believes in them. And I think she treasures them in the sense that they're inspiring to her. She loves her history. She loves all of the best parts of her culture. But she feels their weight in all senses. She understands that she is she's being taught them with the understanding that she will go on to teach them, that she will be the one to bear the responsibility of making sure they continue to be told. And I think it's very hard for her to separate out all the things she loves with the fact that it still feels like a chain around her neck.
The freedom felt here, and the joy, and the burden of responsibility was a big part of Tekla's life. What then led you to the path that led to the Gray Wardens?
I think, like so many of the decisions she makes in her life, it was one made in impulse. I think, in all truth, another mage from her clan emerged, and she saw it not as someone who existed in solidarity with her, but as someone that she could pass the buck to. This didn't have to be her responsibility anymore. And she's still not sure if it was cowardice or if she was running from a leadership role she wasn't ready for. But she makes the choice and she runs one night and leaves it all behind because a great unknown stretching before her felt far more appealing than a life that she thought had been chronicled for her. And I think she chose the Wardens partly because it did satisfy that sense of responsibility that she had been taught and had been educated into, but it felt like something that was hers rather than something that had been passed on to her.
Like many other tales that lead to this path, in many ways it's the first choice you truly make for yourself. When you said the oath, what did it make Tekla feel?
I think she took it not lightly. She understood the responsibility of it. But she's constantly moving forward, and she has no time to dwell on the choices she's already made. So I think she said the oath and then simply resolved to think no more about it. It was done, the words had been said, she would do her duty and she would see everything that she could with the time she had. And that was all she had ever wanted. So maybe that would be enough.
Truly, when you're with the Wardens, and when there is a blight on, every day is different.
Yeah.
Very good. We go now to our final vignette, to the town of Redcliffe in Ferelden, to the keep, and in the main hall, where we see Latoya handcuffed. Please describe the scene to us, Latoya.
There is a look of tired annoyance
Hmm.
in Latoya's eyes as her curly black hair sort of cascades in her face.
Mm-hmm.
The sound of a child wailing and screaming
Mm.
grates at her as this royal brat just talking about crying about his Billy. And boy, does she remember that Billy in the hinterlands. She remembers his muscles, his horns, his coat, and the cold bite that starts winter before snow falls.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, that's meat, that's medicine, that's warmth. And there is a thrill for a hunter when they succeed.
Mm-hmm.
There is this euphoric feeling that is hard to describe to somebody who's never taken life before. But it's not the same feeling that you get from murder, because this is a necessity as much as it is a sport. It's an identity, right? To be able to have these skills to provide for herself and for anyone who has coin, because that is just as useful as the materials themselves. The unfortunate thing was that this billy goat was not a wild mountain goat at all. No wonder it was so well
Healthy
structured,
looking.
because
Yeah.
it was well bred purposely to be that. And here she stands in the keep, listening to this brat cry about it in front of his parents.
Yeah. As the old saying goes, gold won't put fat on your ribs.
Nope.
For all of us who have played through the hinterlands 18 times,
Yep.
I can hear it clear as a day.
There's
Do you think, despite the annoyance over the grating sound, is there any remorse felt over what has happened?
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, why would she feel remorse for those who stay in a warm keep, who have everything?
Do you think Latoya and her hunting skills provides for other people?
Yes. And not necessarily for free, not necessarily always for
Sure.
gold, but there's always, when you are out in the countryside, the bartering system is there.
Payment in kind, yeah.
Yeah, trade is there. There is just, as far as the community of in the spare city of the hinterlands, there, like, she is known about and she is known for her skills. Yeah.
Did you always know you were going to be a hunter?
Yeah, I think she did. She, had times with probably her eldest sibling more so than her parents. Her father, probably more deadbeat, mother kept house. And not deadbeat by choice, probably just from an injury, an amputated leg, that sort of thing, to where it's like when the provider falls, like, everybody steps up, sort of thing. So she had to learn a skill, and she was a wild thing that was definitely better at stringing bows than needing threats.
Do you think your hunting is merely a trade that keeps you and others going, keeps you fed, keeps a roof over your head, or is there an element of it that feels almost like a life purpose, a lifestyle?
Yes, it's definitely more of a vocation.
Hmm.
And again, there is a thrill that comes with it. Because it's not just stringing the bow, pulling it back and letting that arrow fly. It's tracking, it's knowing the weather, it's knowing how the seasons, knowing when it's okay to take certain game, because you don't take deer when their fawns are suckling, sort of thing, right? But like, what's the use of shooting a bear if you're not going to eat it and just get worms from it because you can't cook that shit properly?
No.
Like, sort of thing. It's not like there's like a disrespect for the wilderness and what it provides. It's the exact opposite. Because you have to have some level of respect for it if it is the thing that provides for you.
Something that you live within and are part of, rather than in reflection upon your current situation and where you now find yourself, do you think up until this moment you've had a certain point of view about nobility before?
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck those guys.
Eat the rich.
I actually imagine that my father was probably guard, like in Redcliffe, and he lost his leg in service, and there was no proper compensation.
Sure.
So she's like, nah.
So where you find yourself now, it's not a new sensation, new emotion. It is something that you have felt, and now unfortunately you were bearing the brunt of. I imagine the penalty is severe. I can only imagine it is either a heavy cost of compensation which you can't afford, a life imprisonment, or possibly death. You're not sure what is awaiting you. Would Latoya have pled her case in any way?
Yes. In a very, as she is said to plead her case, she's with that annoyed look, just going to go, well, if you didn't want your pet out, you should have locked your gate better. How am I supposed to know that it belonged to your brat?
Yeah. And I can't imagine it goes well.
No. But she's a prideful, cocky little thing.
Yes. Standing your ground.
Yep.
Absolutely. And so I feel the answer to this question is now clear about what led you to the path that led to the Gray Wardens. I imagine in a cell with
she
no
shot
other
the
choice.
wrong goddamn goat is what happened.
And you are given that choice, freedom, but with conscription.
And I think in that moment, everything that she knows about Gray Wardens, and she thinks about it and what they do at the end and what they get to hunt. That what greater thrill could it be than to put an arrow through an archdemon?
Truly the apex of all the things
there is in this world. And something like that.
So not only is it the only way out you can see, but also opportunity, purpose, beyond simply putting meat on your ribs and on the ribs of those who live around you, but perhaps also an ultimate kill and an ultimate purpose for your skills. When you said the oath, how did it make Latoya feel?
Powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Something beyond just a 5'2" scrawny woodsman girl
Mm-hmm.
with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
As was said, there are many paths that lead people to become Gray Wardens. Some are seeking heroics. Others, it's maybe a last resort. Regardless of what led you here, the fate before you will make heroes out of you one way or the other. These 4 people, in time, will have taken their oaths. They survived the joining. Each of you will have seen people do the same and not make it. Whether you feel lucky, whether you feel someone or something is watching over you, whether it was a skill issue, you survive. You were given training. You have roof over your head, a bed, possessions that are your own. You are treated with respect and you are treated equally, because truly, within the Wardens, everyone becomes equal, whether you were the firstborn noble son or a beggar off the streets, whether you are dwarf, elf, human, Canary, mage, warrior, rogue. You are equal. Your training goes well. You are being given the opportunity to really hone your skills. And for you 4, unlike every Grey Warden, some get to become part of the Griffin Riders, where not only are you getting the opportunity to train with griffins, big legendary creatures you will have only maybe heard about in stories, seen in picture books, bodies of lions or large cats, and the front claws and head and wings of a bird of prey. They are majestic. They are fiercely intelligent. You would swear they're more intelligent than many people you have known in your life. Understand commands. Are some may be temperamental. Some may be childlike in their ability to, you could swear, playing pranks. But they're wonderful beasts. And the thing about a Grey Warden and the griffin that they ride is that a bond is formed. It is surely something that is certainly deeply emotional, depending on your outlook, maybe even spiritual, maybe supernatural. But the link between you and your griffin is unbreakable. The only thing will break it is the sacrifice of death. The personality of yours we will find out in time. But you train. And now you know how to fight. Not only mounted combat, but aerial mounted combat. It's difficult. took some training for some of you, I imagine. We're going to pull everyone together now in a scene, fully in roleplay, where brought to the same outpost where there are many other Griffin riders. The news is spread that obviously you have heard that the Fourth Blight has started, that it's begun in Antiva. It has nearly spread through the entire nation. And you've been given instructions that your whole unit are going to be activated. You are being called upon. You will be going to Antiva City. Some have started to pack up their things. They're leaving in batches. You four, for some of you, you have never met the others. Others may know each other a little better. Some maybe only in reputation because of the dinner hall of the past few nights you've heard nothing but yapping. But you see your commander stood looking at the four of you, a sullen look on her face. It's clearly very serious. You can kind of feel that through all of any Grey Warden you've been speaking to. Anyone that you've managed to make friends with, or that you've bunked with, or that you tend to sit beside when you're taking your meals, even if you don't talk. There is a blight on now, and suddenly your vow is really going to mean something. As she casts her eyes over the four of you that are left in this room, and you sit down, there is food being provided. She'll heavy sigh. Well, I would recommend taking the opportunity to have this meal while you have it, and perhaps get to know each other a little bit. You'll be heading out in the morning. It's maybe your last chance for comfortable rest. So, take it where you can. By tomorrow morning, I need you all to report in to me if your griffins at the ready. And we ride for Antiva. Do you have any questions?
Renard would just kind of scoff, like, why Antiva?
I don't think when archdemons awake and the hordes of darkspawn that follow, they look at a map and try to make some decision about where they want to pick first. Perhaps it was just really unfortunate luck for the Antivans that that's where they emerged.
I meant more the way, why bother saving it?
Oh. Well, when we take the oaths, as we all have, we are protecting all of Thedas, Renard. All of Thedas. All who walk upon this land, and all who are fighting for their lives against the Darkspawn. We are the shield defending them. All of them.
Like, no, don't you misunderstand? I have nothing against the Antivans. Save them, of course. The city.
Well, unfortunately, it's the
What is
last one they
wrong with
have,
you?
Bernard. All of the others have fallen.
What is actually wrong with you? Like, were you dropped on your head as a child? Did you fall off the griffin?
Their sense of
Got here?
architecture is disgusting.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well,
The whole city could use a renovation. That is simply what I am saying.
well, if and when you get to the city and you manage to evacuate the last few remaining Antivans that are living there, you can help them rebuild when they're done.
Unfortunately, my mother did not raise me to be a mason.
Really, but you will judge architecture.
I don't
Of
think
course.
your mother raised you right, period.
Luckily for all of us, there is no apprenticeship for critique.
Well, maybe there should be. Any other serious questions before I go? No. Good.
No.
Take your meal. Get familiar with one another. You're traveling in the morning. Get some rest when you're done. Try not to drink too much. I need you sober in the morning. Right. And just turns on her heel and walks out of the room. The spread is decent. There's at least a couple options for large servings of roasted meat at the very least. Gray Wardens, as we know, can put away their food. Eat more than most. You burn up all those calories. So, the scene is for all of you. Some of you may know each other, others less so.
Latoya, let me ask you.
Does not look at you. Just
Let-
keeps.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Tell me, did you try the soup?
So, Thekla, I would like to point out that the best way to eat brie, as it is presented right here, is definitely baked. So,
I must say-
this is a goat cheese type
I must
brie,
I
and
must
it
say
is
that Toya,
and you
the
just
soup
have
is
to
terrible,
spread it on your
but
Can
it's
I-
not
can I
nearly
ask?
as bad as the chalice.
somebody.
Okay. Real quick. What's happening here? What's this?
What's what?
It is simply a person
She's
with
not
no
asking you.
appreciation for
What?
humor.
What are you talking about, Thekla? What do you mean? Be specific.
Well, firstly, I wouldn't call that humor. That's you said some words in an order, and like maybe you think they're funny, but just do you two know each other? You seem like you know each other. Tell me about that.
On the boat here,
Mhm.
was it 6 months ago, something like that?
Okay, is that it? Like,
That's it. That's
Wow.
the story. And
Technical
he
kinda like,
has been
ha.
a grating noise in the back of my head ever since that I have disassociated from, and pretend that he is some sort of kookaburra or whatever, just a bird yapping,
Hmm.
yapping and chirping. Certainly
Ah.
shouldn't.
Mon amour, please, tell them the truth. Our love, it may be forbidden, but to me, it is an open book.
See, he keeps speaking this language that I don't understand. I actually have to interact with human beings.
Mm.
Mhm.
Technical like
And
half turned her
of
shoulders.
course of your of the elvish and dwarvish type. I didn't mean to exclude you.
It's all right. I will like look at Renard, but like refuses to like make direct eye contact in case it draws too much of his attention. And it's just like, "Brr." I don't know if anyone's ever told you this. They've told me it before, so like I know that like sometimes it's rough to hear. You're a lot. You're a lot.
Oh, thank you. It's quite a nice compliment.
Oh, okay, sure. I'm glad you took it as a compliment. People don't mean it as a compliment when they say it to me, but like I'm
Just-
glad you think it is.
Just please don't. Just sorry, did you try the brie mere nodis? Like as I pass the iron skillet of baked cheese to you. Like,
The amount of creases that are forming on their bald head, like it's getting worse. Like I think the eyebrows have joined together just to form one line of like and like there's just when you're starting to get a migraine, your eyes are
Yeah.
starting to hurt. And you're just kind of like gingerly touching around your orbital socket. That is absolutely what's happening right now. And they're just like, and just for my own mental image, Latoya and Renard are both human, correct?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh God. All right. just
Yeah.
like, and I think during the conversation was like looking at Thecla about to be like, maybe we could, no, we can't bond. Okay. Can we be friends? No, okay. Because the allot comment took them out. But I think just kind of like prodding and looks at Latoya like, what did you say? I'm sorry.
Cheese. I was handing you cheese.
Oh.
It's
Mm,
baked.
okay. Thank you.
Are you intolerant to dairy? I assure you, if it's goat, you should be fine.
I don't even know what that word means.
Intolerant?
Yes.
Shut the fuck up. It means not able to tolerate things when you eat them, like they make you sick. Like, have you ever eaten something that's made you shit your pants?
I don't even know how to answer that question.
You could just say you've had Ferelden food before.
This man has definitely shut his
I
pants before.
don't even know what. I've only heard of Ferelden. I've never seen it. Okay. Just like there's a little groan, just like, oh god. But I think we'll look at the cheese and like take a little bit of it, and then you know how people don't want to try something, so they just kind of shove it around the plate a lot. It's kind of like that. So it gets broken up into smaller pieces and like smeared. Just okay.
And it's so goopy because it's brie, right? So it probably
it's just
sticks to your
spread.
fingers.
And just like,
oh no. You should have used a knife. You should have used a knife.
Okay.
I wonder, as we kind of look at the plates of each of you, with this potential last comfortable big meal of yours, what do you reckon is on your plate, everybody? What does your character tend to lean towards?
Now smeared cheese. And I think
just
it's covering all of the food they want to eat.
Yeah.
Like just like, and I think Mir Nadas probably tends more to vegetables and things that are easier to chew. I think extravagant things of any kind. And like especially like I don't want to say luscious, but like juicy types of meat and things like that, probably it's just not what they're used to. So they probably tend to shy away from it. Anything that's more rich. Yeah. So whatever scant veggies they could get. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Renard would be the complete opposite. For him, it would just be meat, and if there's anything sweet or honey, it's just covered in it.
Yeah.
It's the typical Orlesian just
charcuterie board.
As much sugar as you can possibly fit on one dish, and then add a little bit more on top.
Because like honey and meats go really well together, actually. Yeah. So.
Honey meats go really.
It's
honey
great.
goes with everything. It goes with
really
everything.
Does. It sure does. Yeah. Okay.
Thecla tends towards like a grazing habit more than big meals. So you'll see she has like little portions of everything. Like she's
picky plate.
Yes, she does picky plate.
Yeah.
She's a very adventurous eater, so anything that is put before her, she'll have a little portion of to try. And honestly, we'll probably like side eye Nadas's plate and be like, if you're not gonna have the cheese, it is leaning over with the knife to start scraping it.
Immediately recoils, like, nope, okay. Just like we'll just reach across and just like shove it over. Just
Yep, okay. Just scraping little bits of brie off.
Incredible. And Latoya?
There's like the leg of lamb or goat right there along with the cheese. But also like a whole potato. Easily an entire, and as well as like beets, so root vegetables and carrots, like in those kind of stewed things, because she just knows it's like cool, I'm gonna have like things that keep me nourished, and these are like the most like meat and potatoes, can't fucking go wrong.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And of course like the cheese, because when is she ever going to have baked brie again? Probably never, because boy, she's gonna go kill that archdemon. It's gonna be great. Like, so she's eaten
Incredible.
sort of thing. And like, not with like dismanners or anything like that,
Mhm.
but she is, not everything is going to be eaten with the knife. Like, if she has to pull the meat from the bone with her fingers, she's going to do that sort of thing. But yeah, that's but yeah, she's indulging in, as far as food goes, making sure she gets plenty of fiber so that she does not shit herself later.
Good. It's important. Your griffin would not thank you for it.
Nope, definitely would not. Yeah.
Do any of you guys imbibe any alcohol?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely not for me, to be honest. No.
Yeah. Not like extensively, but as far as like with
dinner
the
ales.
meal,
Dinner
ales, mead if it's available, because mead is the drink of the people, especially over wine.
Yeah.
Don't want that.
No, none of that wine nonsense.
Wine.
Tekla would have one with food, but nothing beyond that.
Sure. Okay. After the meal and some interesting, understandably awkward in places conversation, you're able to go and take your rest. Is there anything that any of you do as a kind of nighttime ritual, if you will, before going to bed, especially knowing that you will be riding off to a sieged city in the middle of Fourth Blight the following morning?
Myrnados, of course, make sure they're packed. Not that they have anything, but everything they'll need, and most definitely checks in with their griffin. And honestly, I think even probably sleeps with their griffin, if I'm being honest. They probably don't know how to talk to people. Especially, how do you tell them you don't know what the fuck brie is? I think you've seen it before. But like, yeah, like that was for, uppitys. So probably doesn't know how to talk to people. So I think they mostly spend time with their griffin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Renard is ostensibly polishing every single one of his possessions. Like the boots, the armor, the sword, the helmet, everything gets shined to mirror finish. Because if you look good, you feel good.
Look after your kit. It looks after you. Latoya and Tekla?
In the same way, like looking after a kit, but not making sure that it's shiny, making sure that everything like is secure, right? Like the last thing she needs is to fall off of her griffin. The last thing she needs is to drop her bow. The last thing she needs to do is to run out of arrows, like or to drop the quiver. Like she's making sure she has the right broadheads for certain things, because what's going to pierce a soft belly is not going to pierce the back of a hide, sort of thing, right? So she's meticulously counting those, but is also before bed she is a faithful, so she does very particularly invoke Andraste, not necessarily the maker. So she does pray to Andraste for as she would normally have done any other hunt, for a successful harvest.
Yeah. Very good.
As always, before she sent on any sort of quest or mission, it's just like a sort of barely contained tornado of, and I was going to do this, and I have to do this as well. So it's probably packing last minute, and by packing I mean just like throwing things in her her back
Mm-hmm.
does like a cursory check over equipment, and he's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. That good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Checks in with her griffin and takes a little more time with that because she values their bond.
Mm-hmm.
But her griffin is much like her, and by that I mean rather mercurial. So it's just like, oh well, okay, what are you gonna do? I think she kind of goes in and is like, oh, you're in a mood? Okay. You good? Everything good? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry that you're mad about it. And leaves. It's like, my bad.
Beautiful.
And last thing before she turns in for rest is that she'll probably fully be in bed and then she'll be like, oh, piss it, and roll back out of bed to go and pray to Gillian before she goes anywhere.
Yeah. All right. So, whether it is trusting in equipment, trusting in your griffin, trusting in gods, it's a big day the following day. The final thing for this session is in the morning. You're going to be heading out to where the griffins are kept and getting ready to go. So, in the order we did our intros, can you please introduce us to your griffin? What are their name? What do they look like? What kind of personality do we see in them?
Yeah. Myrnados actually probably slept in the griffin.
Yes,
like,
yeah.
in the
So
feathers.
You
yeah.
didn't have to go there. You just emerge out.
Nope,
of
I was
this.
already there. Get out of the feathers. And I think, honestly, they awake because their griffin snips at them. You know how birds will kind of,
Yep.
not bite, but, like little nibbles. And I think they wake them up because other people are starting to rouse and starting to come into the, I guess, aviaries. But their griffin is, I would say, mostly black, almost like midnight. And they have a very stark ivory looking beak colored to their beak. And the talons are also very stark. And due to kind of the hydrophobic nature of the wings and the feathers, it almost glistens. It's like a raven blue black kind of color to them. Yeah. And they have been called Sprig.
Adorable. What kind of personality
and they are
do we see in Sprig?
a shit. They're a shit. I think honestly they're probably reclusive, except for maybe Myrnados, and very prone to antics. And so I think in a way they kind of bring out the small antics from Myrnados that are brand new, and so they're very close.
But they are a pain. Myrnados open up a little.
Yeah, definitely. Like taking care of, but also, just like the pecking, the pulling on the clothes all the time. They probably jump out at them a lot.
Yeah. And
for fun. Yeah.
There's an element of a griffin that's still feline in its nature, and felines have this way of knowing when you need cheering up or when you need looked after. So I think any moments where there's a little bit of a storm cloud over you is probably when Sprig will do something to make you laugh.
Absolutely.
Or what counts for laughter from Myrnados.
Yeah.
Very good.
So that's Sprig.
Sure. Renard, what does your griffin look like?
Sorry, muted. Renard's griffin is definitely an older one. When he was younger, perhaps he was mostly solid black with white accents, but now he's got a bit of a gray to his feathering. His name is Hard Talon, but Renard just calls him Vayar, which is Orlesian for old man.
I love that.
It's just like but it's not like a friendly old man, kind of.
Sure.
It's like the,
Come on, old man.
come on, old guy, old man, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
And his personality is just grumpy and
Grumpy.
serious.
yeah.
He's definitely no nonsense. He's basically the opposite of everything that Renard is.
Sees you as a kid needing looked after as well.
He's basically just like, why do I have to watch over this idiot child?
I love that. Okay. Very good. Thecla.
Tekla's griffin is amber coloured, this sort of rich, like golden brown, and then around the sort of eyes and muzzle, the feathers darken into like a darker shade, not quite black but bordering on. And it's very striking to see the two of them together, given that Tekla is also a blonde with black streaks through her hair. So there's a mirroring that happens between them, which Tekla loves. She thinks it's a really special thing. Her griffin is not sort of on the younger side, and again, like I said, is mercurial in nature. It was a challenge at first, I think, for the changing of the moods, and to learn to read the signs in the body language of, oh, you're not happy today. Okay, buddy, that's fine.
I think you both had to learn that for each other. Yeah.
There's I think it was a very steep learning curve, but once they figured out that, it was a lot easier to work in tandem. And I think more than anything, they're both very adaptable, and I think that works in their favor. Her griffin is called Ravas, and that she feels free when she's with him, and she makes a point for that to be a priority for them both, because I think it's the cornerstone of how they work together. So when she comes in to see him, she'll kind of be like, Betterwood, kind of like you do with a puppy, where you go, oh, and you like kind of, and he'll come running over and she'll be like, okay, we're in a Betterwood, and like scratch at the ears, and they will kind of have that moment together.
Beautiful. And Latoya, what is your griffin look like?
Yeah, for Latoya's griffin, he's also on the younger side. And when she picked him out, he was barely past being juvenile, very insecure and nervous. And she was like, that's mine. Because through her and her confidence with training with this griffin, she was able to build his confidence. And Toby, as she has called him, has a very natural colorization to him. The top half of his body is brown, it's in grays, so that if you are a predator that is looking from above, like a bigger bird or a dragon or some sort, it looks like he would just look like the ground and the plains below him. On his belly, he's very white with little specks of brown, so that if you're prey and you're looking up and you see the glare, he blends in with the glare. And then his tail feathers, as they are splayed out, are this rustic red color that sort of is a little stark and blends in with fall foliage sort of thing. Very red tailhawk coated.
Love that
sort of thing. But yeah, and that's Toby for her.
I love that. So our Gray Wardens, the Griffin Riders, and their griffins are ready that morning to take flight and head towards Antiva in the sieged capital city. Next session, we will see what they find when they get there. For today, thank you very much for joining us for the first episode of this Dragon Age special, In Death Sacrifice. I will let my players let you know who they are, who they've been playing, and where you can find them on the internet, and I will take up the end.
Hello, everyone. I am Torin, or Torin Talks Creativity. I have been playing Mir Nados, our unfortunate background rogue elf here. As far as where to find me, the easiest place to find me is on Twitch at Torin Talks Creativity. That's where everything is easily found as far as socials, calendars, that kind of stuff. Lots of streaming, lots of TTRPGs, and start playing things, and that's where you can find me. Thank you.
Excellent.
Hi, I'm Nick. So I'm playing Renard, the not so comedic relief. You can find me basically nowhere because I'm mostly doing a lot of real life work right now. So sometimes you can find me on Val's streams occasionally whenever I have the free time, which is not too much, unfortunately. But yeah.
Wonderful.
Hi, I'm Vex. I've been playing our tiny little tornado elf, Tekla. You can find me at Phoenix Force on the internet, predominantly on Blue Sky, where I am generally just yapping. Sometimes we put parts of ourselves into our characters. You know, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Hi everybody, my name is Valdrianth, or Val on the internet. I produce TTRPG streams for me and my friends, so you can find me pretty much everyone on the internet, either at Valdrianth or Valdrianth TTRPG. So yeah, check out my Blue Sky, my Discord, my Twitch, all that good stuff, and you can see all kinds of really cool content that I have made. But yeah, that's moi.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. And I am Emmer Hamalu on the internet. I have been the storyteller for this tale. I'm one of the founders here at the Transmission, so you can usually see me here doing something. We will have wrapped our season 3. So I hope you enjoyed season 3 of Blood and Lyrium. Season 4 will be out eventually, sometime soon. And when not here, I sometimes on other people's channels, including over at Val's. I'm a nice regular over there. Ding. But that's us for today. And we will see you next time for In Death Sacrifice. Bye, everyone.